This video is all about the Weathershed, Element Weathershed from Evergoods. 22-liter pack, waterproof design. It's an R&D project, or really the first backpack design from Evergoods that marries some of their design work that they did previously on this Element drop-in. Did a video on this one. Put the link right here if you want to see that one. But basically they kind of pioneered this sort of laminated product that is their material with a lamination process that is just then somehow welded, heat welded, RF welded together to make this pouch. Now this has some organization on the inside, a floating divider. It's pretty cool. What they did is essentially took that material and they made a whole backpack out of it. And we're going to get to some comparisons. One comparison that was pretty obvious when someone pointed out to me, when you kind of put it up side by side, is this Arc'teryx Granville 25 liter. 22 liters over here, 25 liters over here. We'll get more to that comparison here in a little bit after we just talk more about the Weathershed 22 liter. Now I've just got back inside from hosing this thing down from different directions, just with a garden hose in the backyard. Of course, it's 45 degrees, but you know, I do these things for you. Now, they say it's waterproof, but it's not completely submersible or really all angle waterproof. If you're just out walking around, minding your own business, this is on your back, probably riding your bike, all those things, completely waterproof. It's going to keep everything dry. If you are off angle, set this thing down on its side, totally different ball game just because the way this thing is designed. I proved that point when I was just shooting water from the side at this opening. The water kind of splashes up inside, kind of gets inside the pack pretty easily. So just think about that. Make sure which way you're oriented. But on your back, walking around all day, this thing is going to keep everything completely dry because it's completely sealed on the outside, front and back. So it's essentially this material molded into a backpack. They do give you a little cool window for one of their 2x2 inch patches. You can slide in there from the inside. But you know, I'm also here to tell you, link in the description of this, the JB Outside patch fits in perfectly, or some other patches like I put on this little case they also make, which is cool. More about that here in a second. But anyway, that's super cool. I like this sort of protected, waterproof way to put a patch in there, although, you know, 2x2 inch limitations. The back panel is a complete standout for this. Some people originally saw this and said, oh, maybe this is a packable backpack. It is not a packable backpack. There's too much built into this for it to be considered packable. You could, of course, pack it. It, you know, compresses down pretty nicely. But the straps and everything are, you know, substantial. It's the standard Evergoods design that you know and love. Breathable back panel, proprietary material on the inside of the straps. It's super cool. Still makes that little bit of a noise. Comes with a sternum strap. Just really, really cool. Now, the cool thing they did with this, and that's down here on the bottom, is they gave this a little tiny vent. If I can find it. A little tiny cut. Yeah, really can't even see it. But it's a place where as water gets into this, as you can see here in this video, water will sort of drain down the bottom, and this gives us a release point for that water. You know, here's a couple, I mean, I took photos and videos. It works. Everything kind of drained through it. Now I did this earlier, dry at the top, still some water as it's draining out the bottom, but nothing is soaked. And everything on the inside is sealed for the most part. More about that as we take stuff out. Again, super cool, shorter-ish design. I'll put the height right here in inches, but I don't have a problem typically with the Evergoods bags digging into your back. This one definitely doesn't. It just sort of rounds out, and as it's fully packed out and it's just away from your body is the way it's packed out. So that's really cool. Again, super comfortable design, wear all day, ride it on the bike, get it out in the water. You know, for those of you in wetter climates, Seattle, those kind of places where it rains a lot, this might be the game changer for you because of the way it looks and is designed. Now let's dig into the bag. No other external pockets or ways to access laptop compartments or sunglasses compartment. None of that exists. We do have an external cool handle, which I do like, with nice little cutouts on the inside for you to put carabiner, that kind of stuff. Awesome. Now, the whole thing latches with these two buckles, which are easy to pull off and just show you the inside of the bag. There is on here, on the front of the bag, is where we can sort of access some other things. They have a zip pocket, which I put some cardboard in. Got a little bit of water in there. Again, I was completely soaking this whole thing, but that got a little wet. And we have this flap here, which can be tucked in behind. And then you got two drop-in pockets. Now, I didn't have anything in there. Feels pretty dry. There is a little bit of organization in there on the one side, but not this side. So that's something I didn't really realize, so I just put my finger in there. Some organization on this side, not this side. And then underneath is another little party trick, and this is the strap. Now it latches up in top. There is a little, it's all the way up here. Nice little loop. It's way at the top of this part of the bag. And you basically hook it in there and it's out of sight. The purpose behind this is there's a little tab here for you to loop in here when it's sort of overstuffed, and then you can cinch this down. Looks very similar to another design, which is the Granville that I've already talked about. But when not in use, you can sort of tuck this thing all the way up in there, and it's just out of sight, out of mind. I can get it in there. My watch is impeding my progress. But it just loops on the inside. Oh, I know. I pull it down. There we go. You can just pull this loop, take up the slack. There you go. So yeah, two drop-ins. This flap, like I said, could be on the inside if you weren't worried about the weather. AquaGuard zipper. Again, I just completely soaked this whole thing, and it has some water inside. So think about that. Which, you know, AquaGuard zipper from a vertical rain is not going to ever get to that pocket. But for me, just got it in there. Otherwise, let's lay this sucker down. We have, again, the loop, the two snaps. What did I have in here? I had a field pocket. Got wet on the top. This was on the very top. I put some cardboard along the top in here. Again, just the very top of that got wet. This packing cube is dry, so that's fine. Down there. Cardboard that was in the laptop compartment, completely dry actually. Didn't get any water that went to the back of it. And the packing cube on the bottom has a little bit of water that just got all the way to the bottom of this thing. Again, the top one was fine, but what happened was I was just vertically hitting the sides of it. The water ran up and then down the sides and then pooled at the bottom. There's no way for it to get out, so you're gonna have to dry that sucker when you get to that point. Try to show you the bottom and the inside. So there's the laptop area. We have the big laptop flap, which helps you guide things in the back. We have a front tablet sleeve, and then on the either side are these little areas for you to put an Apple Pencil, that kind of thing. So there you go, nice little layout. On the inside, that's really in the front. There's a way to get the frame sheet out by this zipper, and that's about it. Then again, back of those zip, let's see if I can show you. Back of the front is just those two little black points are the backs of those snaps. And then we have the window that's side entry for the patch. So that's it. So the water, like I said, didn't come through any of the areas, nothing through the seams. It all came from the top. Again, just blasting water from the side of it. So that's what happened there. That's where the water came in and got my very high-tech pieces of cardboard a little bit wet in the process. So there you go. That is the features. Now, capacity-wise, it is wider at the top, narrows around to the bottom. I had in there, this is the, let's actually just not put this one. Let's let that one dry. Put another one in there. This is a Patagonia small one. We'll put that in the bottom. And then we have the 10 liter from GoRuck actually in the top. That one will fit in the top. And again, it's more narrow in the bottom. But either way, it fits a ton of stuff, and you have that increased capacity to put stuff along the top. And those snaps are very satisfying to snap in place. So there you go. Now, some other things before we get to the comparisons. I already talked about the Evergoods EDI element drop-in. Had a pleat at the bottom and floating dividers on the inside and AquaGuard zippers. So really cool design. Then they came out with this same material on the outside, and then this also little pouch. All right, so about this, we've got a nice little hanging attachment, and then we have another string attached to the zipper, which allows you to open it up. And again, AquaGuard zippers, the perfect size. For, in this case, I have a little overstuffed with this Flow. This is the Insta360 Flow gimbal for a cell phone. And it fits in there just perfectly if you want to keep some electronics dry, which is really nice and really cool. And again, has all that stuff in there. You could put other things in it. So here it is compared size-wise to a Cap 1. You could drop in some other attachments, things you want to keep dry, put it in there, and you're off to the races. But like I said, for me, this is something that I want to protect and keep dry, so I'll put it in there. And actually, put that down. Ta-da. It's got some dimension to it, nicely built and high quality. So those are attachments. Tech pouch, EDI, nice. Let's talk about comparisons. And there really is only one comparison that I found, and I hadn't looked at this before. But this is the Granville 25 from Arc'teryx. It's the one that most people sort of pointed out to me as, oh man, you need to check that out and add it to a comparison. So here we are. Now, size-wise, here's the dimensions on how they compare left to right. Obviously 22 liters over here, 25 liters over here. You can see it's a little bit taller, so to get you a couple more liters. Otherwise, the material that they use, which is a ripstop sort of thing, it feels very similar, and it's nice. It's a nice material, definitely a great keep your stuff dry bag. Now, I did not run this through the same hose concept because this is not really a review of this one. This one is also seam sealed, a little different feel to it, and it looks pretty good, and again, sealed. Now, the difference is their back panel is a little different. I would say the shoulder straps, while they're definitely wider and more padded on the Evergoods, are probably all day comfortable, way more comfortable compared to the Arc'teryx. Nice little substantial Sony loop handle. I like the handle over here on the Weathershed. You got a nice back panel here. I'm sure it's comfortable all day. Keeps a little bit of air channel off your back. Sternum strap, all this stuff, very similar, just different designs. Now, one thing I did note right off the bat was on the Weathershed, it's pretty much one big rain flap. And it's the same on the Granville, but you can kind of notice that they've kind of give it some contour. It's narrower, right? The Weathershed is wider. I mean, it's just that the flap goes wider to protect things from vertical rain. And on the Granville, they just went more curved. You may prefer this look, that's cool. Of course, I got it in green because, hey, that was available on Amazon. But it just wanted to be able to tell the difference between the two. No little patch panel, little Arc'teryx logo. And other than that, it's a nice design. Price is a big difference, obviously. That's one thing that people pointed out, and I obviously noticed. $220 on Amazon for this one, $350 for the Evergoods. Now, other than that, the design, I've already talked about a little bit about. This one has this little tab in here and some webbing and a hook to restrain the top. that's cool. I do like the snaps. I think the snaps are a benefit. Another little standout feature is that this one has a drawstring enclosure, which they've done on Evergoods bags before, but they didn't do on this one. Pulls apart and gets you into the main compartment. Now I'll get stuff out so we can kind of compare, but I wanted to talk about the front. The front just has this one AquaGuard vertical pocket, which is sizable, goes kind of everywhere, and there's a little key loop in there, kind of way embedded in there. Not really getting it out. It's kind of short, but again, AquaGuard zipper, vertical mounted. And that's really it on the outside, and then this drawstring enclosure. So you kind of cinch this whole thing, get this flap over, and it's gonna do better for the vertical. I guess horizontal. I said vertical. Horizontal spray going into the side of the bag will protect you more because you have this drawstring. Now it does add another layer of getting into it, where this one is simpler. You just undo these snaps and you're into it. You just, oh man, it's a satisfying noise. Anyway, super cool. Now let's set this to the side. In here, I have similar loadouts, just a couple of packing cubes. Now we have some more organization in this one. So let's see, on this side we have a zip pocket drop-in, cool. This side is just a drop-in pocket, no zip. So no zip on one side, zip pocket on the other. And then we have a zip pocket on a flap that can be used for your tech on the inside. So sort of similar, just more options on the Granville compared to the Weathershed. And again, I think capacity is very comparable. A little more organization on the inside, more organization on the outside. Over here, those are the main differences. Both awesome. More off-angle protection with the Granville, not the Granville, 25 liter. So which one is for you? I don't know. They both look cool. They both look super cool. More comfort here. And again, just some different philosophies on how they laid out the organization. So I really don't know which you would pick. Of course, if you're more budget conscious, you would pick this one from Arc'teryx on Amazon versus the Weathershed. Now, final thoughts really on the Weathershed as an overall product is, and they've even said this is a research and development project. And this is the first backpack sort of in this vein. And so I'm not sure what they're going to do with this. I'm assuming they're going to take lessons they learned in the production of the Weathershed and add them to other designs. And like I said, don't take the fact that I got water on the inside of this as a red flag, just because I totally cheated and just squirted water in the side, which is, again, that's cheating, because you can get into the side of this, into the bag, if you spray water, which I don't expect you to ever encounter that. Maybe on a bike, you might get road splash, very, very rarely. And again, I don't think it's that big a deal. But overall product design, I think it's a great, important first step on the road for research and development at Evergoods to bring us new products. So I am a fan, and I do like the little details they added to keep it still leaking water a little bit from the back panel from the hose down. So what do you think? You think this is a winner? Would you skip it? I think it's a great addition to the whole thing, and I do like what they've done to this, and I'm excited to see what they do with what they've learned from this process. This one will continue to be used when it's super wet outside to keep things dry, because the problem with everyone's at is it waterproof? Is it waterproof? Is it waterproof? Nothing in this world is completely waterproof. There are submersible bags that are the most waterproof, but there's just always going to be some little point that I'll be able to get water into. Like this, like I said, on this one, shooting water on the inside is going to put you water on the inside. So you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. More coming soon. Lots going on to wrap up 2024, including a bag of the year video, which is still under development. With that, see you in the next one. Let these things dry.